inherit Islam from my family. I didn't change. But my wife is a pastor. She prays for me. No conflict. And I never did at any single time to convince her or convert her. I believe in the freedom of religion. We are praying to the same God. We are answerable to the same Almighty God.
Tinubu's recent statement has attracted uproars, definitely from the northern political and religious fundamentalists. This informed the reason why an average Islamic scholar from the north does not believe deeply in his heart that the Yoruba Muslims are true Muslims. They consider them as nominal Muslims who professes Muslims, but deeply they are not radical Muslims. Because you cannot be a radical Muslim or considered as an adherent of Islamic tenet of faith if you have your own wife as a pastor and a Christian, not just a Christian, but as a pastor. You see, no Muslim fundamentalist or who devoted Muslim will accept that. That is quite interesting. The reason why a clergy, a Islamic cleric in recent past called for Tinubu's wife to be beheaded, that is a taboo and a sort, an affront on Islam. How could you say you're a Muslim, a devoted Muslim, and you have your wife as a Christian, not just a Christian, but as a pastor, as he claims? So, for a devoted Islamic fundamentalist from the north, they believe that that is an aberration and does not connote true dedication and devotion to the tenets of Islam. It is quite very disturbing development, but for the southwestern people, they accommodate and tolerate religious liberty. So that's why there is great disparity, difference between an average northerner and a southwesterner, a Yoruba man who practices Islam. They are not religious inclined. The only religion which the Yoruba strongly believe is the religion of celebration, the religion of Owambe. It doesn't matter whether it is Christian festive period or Salah or Ileya, whatever they call it. You see them both, the Christian faithfuls, those who profess to be Christians and Muslims together celebrated. So the only religion which Yoruba drift to is the religion of celebration. So they are not inclined to Islamic or religion radicalism, except for a few of them who are now drifting in towards that. Honestly, it is very disturbing development. I strongly believe that Tinubu will be receiving strong knocks, lashes from the northern religious clerics. And again, citing that he do not compel her wife to convert to Islam is another deadly blow to those Islamic fundamentalists because they could not believe that you, being a devoted Muslim, will cohabit with a Christian. they don't tend to agree with the Christian tenet of faith. Even while Tinubu said that we are answerable, we are serving the same God, that is a blatant lie for a Muslim, a northern Muslim fundamentalist. He would never believe, over his dead body, to believe that the Muslims and the Christians are serving the same God. For those who embark on extremism and the annihilation of Christians, we never agree with this. They consider Christians as infidels. That is just the truth. It is before the public domain. Anyone who does not believe in the Islamic tenet of faith is considered as an infidel. So there is no way there could be two different gods. And you are telling them that they are serving the same God. For them, that could be considered as a blasphemy to their own religious profession or whatever. Because you can't say we are serving two gods, the same God, while people are killing in the name of God to spread their own ideology, religious ideology, and the rest of them. So I strongly believe that Tinubu will be coming on that heavy critics by making such statements. A northern Muslim will never agree with such pattern of thoughts or line of thought. But for an average Yoruba Muslim, he will accept that because they cohabit. You have seen that the Lord, they don't consider such as a serious concern. You want to worship what you want to worship, whether Ifa or Gum, Muslim or Christian, they don't bother much about that. Their major concern is this religion of celebration. See, what unifies them or what they have in common is celebration. They celebrate, you see, even families during Ileya or a Christian festive period, they come to their family house and the rest of them, you see them celebrating, eating, drinking, and the rest of them. Partying, that is the religion they strongly believe in. So coming to being extreme in Christian, in religion, Islam, Islamic religion, the rest of it, they are not found caught in that web. So I strongly believe that the North should be examining Tinubu devotion to Islam. He said he inherited Islam and do not change. But before the invasion of Islam in the West, what was the Yorubas' religion? Of course, traditional religion, worshippers, and the rest of them. So both Christian and Islamic religion was alien to the Yorubas. Likewise, every other indigenous communities in Nigeria, precisely the southwestern, the western region, and of course the eastern region. So, what must be prioritized is the religion of humanity. Humanity should be prioritized. But that will not go down well with any if Islamic fundamentalists or clerics from the north. He strongly believes that Tinubu has just committed some sort of blasphemy by saying that we serve the same God and it is unacceptable for any Islamic fundamentalists. Yes, it is unacceptable. And saying that we are answerable to Almighty God, well, They might partly believe that there is an Almighty God, but when it comes to, and they strongly believe that Jesus was mentioned in the Holy Quran. Yes, they believe he is a prophet, but yet do not believe in his message. They don't believe he is the Son of God. No, they can't settle with that. They believe he's a prophet eh, from God, but do not believe even his words. So there are contradictions, and they can never accept the position of the president being expressed. Well, that is his personal opinion, he's entitled to, and it's not binding on anyone. He's just expressing uh, his own background, where he is coming from the Yoruba clan, which I strongly agree with him. Is a word of life and the way of doing things within the Yorubas. They don't discriminate regardless of the religion, especially within them, except for few radicals who are cropping up this time, and which is very destructive in the long run. There are people who are now drifting to religious inclinations within the Yoruba clan or settlers, and such over time might change the entire perception of a Yoruba man, especially the Islamic fundamentalists that are cropping up. Eventually, there may be an approach end of such religious tolerance, except the Yorubas protest that. Of course, these are reasons why the Yorubas are saying we don't want is Sharia being enacted in our own place. Where Yorubas, we shouldn't be bound by the dictates of the caliphates. They can't control our lives or way of life. We have our own way of life and should not be controlled by the dictate of the Fulani Caliphate, imposing such Sharia as a way of extension and control of the Yoruba's culture, religion, and tradition. They vehemently oppose it because they understood the implications and the consequences of adopting such over time. So this is very clear. The difference is wide as far as a Yoruba Muslim and a northern Islamic fundamentalist. They can't meet at any point. So Tinubu was right by saying, yes, there is some level of religious tolerance within the Yorubas. A Muslim can marry to a Christian regardless of the religious differences, cohabit together, raise children. Some of the children could decide to be Christians or Muslims, except at extreme conditions or circumstances, they will allow them to express their religion. But these are is no longer 100% because with the recent uh, move or drive, people are now tilting towards uh, religious fanaticism, and eventually, such is gradually being eroded. But that being said, in the other hand, Tinubu was outrightly wrong for saying the Christians and the Muslims are worshiping the same God or believe in the same God. It is unacceptable by any religious or Islamic fundamentalists from the north. It's not possible. It's not possible and could not be accepted. Definitely, Tinubu might have his backlash from the northern religious fanatics or fundamentalists from the north. Let's have your own take regarding this issue of humanity should be placed above religion. That is my own opinion. You see, we're first of all humans in God's image, created in God's image before drifting to religious ideologies, sentiments, and inclinations to what should be brought to fore in the first instance. The first consideration of human existence should be based on humanity, being human to a fellow human. Fellow citizens, sadly, are being considered as infidels. These are the one of the uh, inspiration of the Boko Haram. They want to deal away with the infidels. And who are the infidels? The Christians. So someone who believes in such ideology will never accept such. And the reason why most churches are rounded up and killed and burned down, the rest of them, communities are being targeted, predominantly Christian communities. The evidence abounds there, and it's not something, a subject of controversy. And sadly, these perpetrators are not being brought to justice to serve as a deterrent. And yet, Nigeria is believed to be a secular state, but in reality, such does not exist. There are religious, confirmed religious intolerance, religious motivated killings across board, which the evidence abounds, and international communities are now raising concerns over the future or the existence of Christian communities and the Christian faith in Nigeria. Let's have your own take. If you're Muslim from the north and, of course, the Yoruba land, your own perspective regarding this development definitely is an interesting moment.